What if I told you that in today's modern world there are still communities where one man can have multiple wives, where children grow up, knowing their future marriage may already be decided, and where leaving doesn't just mean walking away from a belief, it can mean losing your entire family? This is not a movie, and it is not ancient history. This is happening right now. Today, we are going inside Mormon polygamy communities, not the version you see in polished church videos or friendly missionaries on European streets, but the hidden world that exists behind closed doors. Before we go any deeper, if you like real stories about faith, power, and the parts of history people avoid talking about, subscribe to my channel, Quick Horror, right now. You'll want to stay with us until the end. Now let me ask you something. Do you think polygamy in Mormonism truly ended more than 100 years ago, or do you think it simply went underground? Tell me what you think in the comments. Most people know Mormonism as a family-centered Christian faith, with clean living, strong morals, and close families. That image is real, but it is not the full story. Inside Mormon history is a chapter many would rather forget, and that chapter is polygamy. In the early days of the Mormon movement, church leaders taught that plural marriage was a commandment from God. Historical records show that Joseph Smith, the founder of the movement, practiced plural marriage in secret. Later, under Brigham Young in Utah, polygamy became public and openly defended. It was not seen as optional. Many believed it was required to reach the highest level of heaven. Then the law stepped in. The United States government declared polygamy illegal and applied heavy pressure on the church. In 1890, the main LDS Church announced that the practice would stop, and most members accepted this and moved on. But not everyone did. Some believers said God does not change his commands because of government pressure. They believed polygamy was still required, no matter the law. From that belief, separate groups were born, often called Mormon fundamentalists. These groups did not disappear. They became quieter, more isolated, and harder to see. Today, some of these communities exist in remote areas of Utah, Arizona, Texas, and parts of Canada. Many live apart from mainstream society. In some cases, leadership holds enormous power. Leaders may decide who marries whom, when marriages happen, and who is considered worthy. One man may have many wives, sometimes more than 10, and children are raised to believe this lifestyle is holy and required. Questioning leaders is often treated as questioning God himself. So here's a question I want you to think about carefully. When belief controls your marriage, your family, and your future, where does faith end and control begin? Write your thoughts in the comments. Now, here's where the story takes a turn that surprises many people. Not everyone inside these communities says they are victims. Some women openly defend polygamy. They say they choose it, that it gives them support, shared responsibility, and spiritual meaning. But former members tell a very different story. Many describe growing up in fear. Fear of being cast out, fear of losing their children, fear of eternal punishment. Some talk about young girls being prepared for marriage at very early ages. Others describe teenage boys being pushed out of the community, so there are fewer men competing for wives. Think about that for a moment. Young boys removed from their families, not for wrongdoing, but for balance. So let me ask you another important question. Can a choice really be free if leaving means losing everyone you love? Answer honestly in the comments. It is important to be clear about one thing. The main LDS Church today strongly rejects polygamy, and anyone who practices it is excommunicated. Church leaders repeatedly state that these fundamentalist groups do not represent them, and that is true. But history still connects them, and that connection raises uncomfortable questions, especially for people learning about Mormonism from the outside. How much should a religion's past define how we see it today? Polygamy communities live in the shadows of the modern world. Some see them as faithful believers holding on to God's law. Others see them as closed systems where power is abused. Sometimes the truth is not simple, and sometimes it is both. Now, I want to hear from you. Should religious belief ever stand above the law? Should governments step in, or should faith communities be left alone? And do you think polygamy will ever truly disappear? If this video made you think or question what you thought you knew, subscribe to Quick Horror right now and stay part of this conversation. Leave your thoughts in the comments, because your voice matters. Here, some truths stay hidden not because they are false, but because facing them is uncomfortable. And those are the stories we tell here. I'll see you in the next video.